For more MTG resources and articles, check out paperchampion.net. Okay, so today we're playing Mono Blue Faeries, and we have 3 lands, Pestermite, Spellstutter Sprite, so we could probably play this. Let's keep. See how we do. Celestial Colonnade, okay. And go. Vapor Snag is okay, so we'll just play the island and go. Next turn we'll play another island. Okay, which will allow us to play Vapor Snag and Unsummon both at the same time. Alright, so Hallowed Fountain being tapped. Okay, so island and go, I guess. Okay, so if my opponent lets me do this, what I'll do, play a land here. At the end of my turn, I'll go in and tap one of his lands and flash in with Pestermite. So we're going to stop on my opponent's turn. Did he cast anything? No. Alright, well, let's play Ghost Quarter, I suppose, and go. Okay, so we'll just end. Oh, opponent's casting something. Think twice. What was that? Draw a card. Okay. So we're gonna go tap, 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 Pestermite. Okay. And we're gonna tap one of his lands to kind of slow him down. It also puts a Faerie onto the field. Okay, which allows him, which kind of allows me to start like doing some damage and maybe going with Mistbind Clique. Okay. So see if my opponent has anything that he can do here. Okay, so Drowned Catacombs. Still nothing he can do. It's good. Kind of scares me. He's got a lot of open mana. Okay, now I could hold up Mistbind Clique and just see what happens. But I'm actually pretty close to almost getting a sort of a lock on my opponent. So I can pay 4 on my opponent's turn. On the following turn, use an unsummon. Yeah, on my opponent's upkeep, unsummon it, use a Pestermite, and then kind of lock him down, like that way, for a few turns and just tap all his lands. So I think I'll maybe try that. So we'll go to attacks and see what happens. I've actually never done this before, so hopefully it works. Okay, so he is doing something here. Esper Charm, draw 2 cards, okay. Okay, so on my opponent's upkeep, what I will do is go tap, 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 Mistbind Clique. Okay, so I'm going to tap all my opponent's lands. Okay, is he going to be able to counter that? A Cryptic Command. Wow, alright. I wonder what modes it. Counter target spell, draw a card. Alright, well, there's nothing I can do about that, so I'll have to take it. Okay, but still, he lost all. He's completely untapped here. Okay, or completely tapped out, I should say. Alright, let's go Ghost Quarter. And I guess we can throw a Faerie Miscreant. That allows us to maybe tap some of his other, use Spellstutter Sprite to counter one of his future spells. Attack for 2, and we won't do anything on his upkeep. Okay, so I can counter a spell with mana cost 3 or less. Alright. Enters the battlefield? Yeah. Alright, so 4. Oof. Alright. That's okay. So I'll go unsummon my Pestermite and Path to Exile. Okay, well, let's go. Do I just get the extra land from it? Or do I unsummon it again? I don't really care so much about the Faerie Miscreant. Pestermite's actually a bit better. So let's go tap, Vapor Snag, Pestermite. Okay. So he gets 1 card from all that. I get another Mistbind Clique. Okay. So do I have enough to cast all of these? No, I don't. But I can cast a Pestermite and a Spellstutter Sprite. So I can counter a spell of cost 2 or more on my opponent's turn. Or 2 or less on my opponent's turn. Let's see what he even has. I don't even know. Okay, so he's getting another land. Looks like he's probably aiming to cast something big, although I have no idea what it is. Okay. On his end step, nothing. Do I throw out a Pestermite again? I don't think I need to. Another Spellstutter. Okay. I think I still cast it on my opponent's end step here. So maybe on my opponent's upkeep I'll cast another Pestermite. Oh. Think twice. Draw a card. So our opponent's still digging. So let's go and we will Spellstutter Sprite. Okay, he's gonna let that resolve probably, because it's not enough to counter him. Okay, and then tap for another Spellstutter Sprite, and now I can counter his card here. But I'm assuming that he doesn't have what he's looking for here. Okay, so countered that card. Okay, now I've got my 2 1/1s on the field. Got Mistbind Clique. Another Think Twice. Okay. Alright, there's nothing I can really do about that. So hopefully he didn't draw whatever he was looking for. Alright, he's got something. Paying cost. Think Twice again with flashback. Alright, sure. Now I've got 2 bodies on the field, which is nice. Alright, so opponent's got just a ton of land, 8 lands. Okay, I'm still doing okay too, a 6. Looks like my opponent's just trying to cast like a 1-turn win thing. Another Ghost Quarter. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just swing. Okay, so I'll swing for 2. Okay, end turn. Alright, and go. Oh, what's he doing? Thinking twice? Okay. Another cracks his land. Okay. Okay, so something like a Scion of Oona would be super nice. So again, he's digging. I have no idea what he's digging for. It's so hard to go into open mana like this. I feel like I should though. Is it worth it? Or should I just cast it at my opponent's end step? So Yeah, let's see what he does here. I feel like if I cast it, I'm like he's got 8 cards in hand. I'm probably like 7 cards. I'm likely to go into a counter. He's definitely could have a cryptic in hand. Right, so I'll just keep this up for now. So Snapcaster. Okay, what's he gonna target? Probably Supreme Verdict. No. Targeting, yeah, Supreme Verdict. Okay. Okay, I don't think I have any way of bringing it back. Okay, like, because in order to champion one of the Spellstutter Sprites, I'm going to have to, or to use Mistbind Clique, I have to champion a Spellstutter Sprite, right? Which means that I'm going to have to basically exchange them, and I'll lose my Mistbind Clique, and I would rather have a Mistbind Clique than a Spellstutter Sprite. So, okay, so let's go end turn, I guess. My opponent went to end mana, basically. So let's go tap tap, and we'll go Pestermite. We'll tap one of his Celestial Colonnades, I suppose. Okay. Yes. Okay. And then we'll go tap for 3 and play a Mistbind Clique. And we'll champion the Pestermite. Okay. Alright, so tap all the lands my opponent controls. And then I'll be able to swing in for 4 and puts him on a 3-turn clock. So he's got to do something about that Mistbind Clique right away, or pretty quick. Yeah. Okay. Almost forgot to put that on to stack there. Alright, so I think we're doing okay. It just depends what my opponent has. He's got 6 cards. Faerie Conclave is not the best, but we'll play it out just in case. Just allow me to create another fairy later. Okay, so does my opponent have some form of removal? Okay, so Faerie Conclave can become another 2/1 fairy. So I could, if he does manage to, if I can get him down to 4 and he kills my Mistbind Clique, then what I can do is I can still attack with Pestermite and Faerie Conclave. So let's just I don't really need to do it right now. I'm afraid he's going to Supreme Verdict me or something. So let's just go attack with Mistbind Clique. Okay. Okay, so what did he use? Condemn. Okay. So it puts Pestermite back onto the battlefield, and I don't know, we'll tap one of his Watery Graves, I suppose. Sure. Yes. Okay, so I still have a Pestermite. Okay, go. Okay, so my opponent is, what's he doing here? I still have him on a fairly decent clock. Okay, so now that I can tap Faerie Conclave, make it, or change Faerie Conclave into a fairy, and still put him on a 2-turn clock. My opponent's just got so many cards in hand, it's ridiculous. And so much open mana that he can use. Celestial Colonnade, alright. I'm not too worried about that. Okay. So he's going to swing with that? Okay. I'll just destroy his Colonnade. Okay, so not that big of a deal. Yeah, he gets another land, a basic, which he'll probably have. Okay, and yeah, when I do that with my Faerie Conclave, he'll probably do the same thing with his Ghost Quarter. Vapor Snag's actually pretty nice, so let's go tap and make a fairy. Oh, he's tapped his Ghost Quarter. Okay, so We will go to combat, swing for 4. Does my opponent have anything? Snapcaster. What's he going to target? Condemn, maybe? Okay. So, Path to Exile. Okay. Which one is he going to Path to Exile? Or is he going to? Alright, well that's fine. I'll just Vapor Snag him. Okay, so that goes to Exile. That's fine. I will still swing with my Faerie. Alright, now I could play this land, but I'm going to represent that I have a counter or something else in hand. And I will play my Pestermite on my opponent's turn. Alright, so I'll let him go here. Wow, so many lands, okay. So Snapcaster is going to hit for 2. I'm okay with that. Okay. So let's go tap, tap, and tap for Pestermite. Do you have a counter? Or does it resolve? Alright. He's got a counter. Cryptic, okay. Probably counter draw? Yeah. Alright, well, that's all I can do. Still, wasting a Cryptic on a Pestermite just seems kind of ridiculous. But, that's not what I wanted. But, alright, well, let's go tap and tap. We'll make a blue Faerie, swing for 2. Alright, hopefully we can get in this last little bit of damage with this Faerie. Okay, I really don't need more lands. Okay, so is he going to Celestial Colonnade or just swing for 2? Just swing for 2, okay. Now, alright. Ghost Quarter destroying my Faerie Conclave, alright. There's nothing I can do about it, but yes, I'll thin my deck and grab another island. Okay, so Faerie Conclave, alright. And go. Alright, so another Faerie Conclave, doing okay. So I need 2 more turns, unless he's got some more land destruction. Esper Charm, discard 2 cards. Okay. Thanks for wasting your Esper Charm on 2 islands. Alright, but he does know I'm empty-handed now, so I can't represent that I've got anything in hand. Alright. So opponent can swing for 2. He can't attack with the Celestial Colonnades because I'll just destroy them with my Ghost Quarters. Spellstutter Sprite's not too bad. Alright, so let's actually go and tap for 2, make a Faerie. Okay, we will swing, go to combat, hopefully put my opponent down to 1. Alright, so what is this? Oh no, another Cryptic? A Celestial Colonnade. Alright. What? What? I did not F6. Oh my god. I don't know how that just happened. Oh, that was the worst. Okay, well, I'll still take 2, I suppose. Okay, on my opponent's end step, we'll go Spellstutter Sprite. Does he have a counter? Is he going to waste a Spell Snare? Okay. Vapor Snag. Alright, that's fine. Now, Vapor Snagging Spellcaster, or Snapcaster is not really good. But, alright, well, we'll just hold it. Okay, if he takes it, that's not a big deal. I could actually use Vapor Snag as a finisher if I can, just to deal 1 damage. If I can get 2 more damage in somehow. Wow, something huge. Sphinx's Revelation. Gain X life and draw X cards. Oof. Alright, well, them's the breaks. Okay. So my opponent doesn't have tons of creatures. What is his game plan? He's just drawing cards, looking... I don't know what he's trying to do. Alright, so I don't want to put Snapcaster back in his hand. Okay, Faerie Miscreant's pretty good, so... Does not have Flash, so let's just go Faerie Miscreant. Is he going to counter a Miscreant? No? Alright, that's fine. Let's see. Is he going to be able to race me? What is he doing here? Something huge, probably? Wow. Okay. Now, when your opponent's tapping for 9 mana, you know it's something bad. Alright. So I think that could be it. Alright, concede game. Good game, good game. Alright, that was a long, drawn-out game, but okay. So, my opponent doesn't have tons of mana. Spreading Seas is not going to help me. Echoing Truth might be okay. Dispel is almost certain to be good. Okay, Negate's also good. Okay. Scion I think is going to be good because it gives me Shroud. Remand, Quickling I think could probably come out. Although Quickling is a bigger body, because we're going for a longer game here. Pestermite did not seem to be that good. So maybe Pestermites come out. And Faerie Imposter. What else could come out? Unsummon's pretty good. Echoing Truth wouldn't be too bad, so if maybe Faerie Imposter out. Just have way more counters. Vapor Snags were good. Faerie Miscreant, Remand, Echoing Truth, Scion of Oona. These all look actually pretty good. Let's run it back with 61. We'll see how we do. Relic would be good, only because he's running Snapcaster, but it's a tough one just to include right there. I'm not sure. Maybe I should have put it in. But, okay. I'd like to play first. Oh, 2 lands, but nothing blue, so I pretty much have to mulligan that. Okay, so 3 lands, but 2 Scions and a mana leak. Alright, so we'll keep that. That can go to the bottom. Okay, and so we'll play the Faerie Conclave turn 1. It comes in tapped, so might as well get that out. Okay. Okay, and stop the stops on my opponent's turn. Alright. So, Ghost Quarter, go. Okay. So, opponent has Hallowed Fountain. Okay, so they're holding up, almost certainly holding up a counter of some sort. Okay, so let's go just Ghost Quarter and go. Next turn, I can... I don't have a blue source to make that into a Faerie. Otherwise, like, I would just make that into a Faerie and tap and play it out. Okay, my opponent's definitely holding up counters there. So, just go. Alright, we'll just play this long waiting game. Okay, so think twice, digging. I gotta watch the F6s here, because my opponent does play a lot similar to me on the end of my turn. That last game, though, I definitely did not F6. I don't know what happened there. So Island is actually pretty good. Okay, so we will Go tap and tap. Faerie Conclave becomes a Faerie. Then we'll just swing for 2. Oh, is he going to try and destroy it? Path to Exile. Well, I guess I have no choice. I'll take it. I'll take an extra land, though. So we'll go Island. Okay, so go. Now this leaves open mana for my opponent to cast something, but he's going to have to tap him. Oh, unless he's got something flashed. Yeah. Alright. So, is my opponent going to cast anything? That was his chance. Alright, well, I guess I just pass. Okay, so go. Man, these draw-go games are just brutal. So not fun. But that's what you get when you play control versus control. So I could... Well... Let's not let him have that and go Mana Leak. Okay. At least force him to use Flashback. Okay, so if he's going to cast it, he'll have to use Flashback for it. Alright, so opponent still has a ton of mana. But I would have to discard this turn anyways, so might as well just let him go. Okay, so end step. Is my opponent going to Flashback think twice? Esper Charm. Draw 2 cards. Let's go tap and tap for Negate. Okay, are you going to Mana Leak that? Spell Snare. Alright, and fine. I will Mana Leak your Spell Snare. Okay, you still don't have 2 lands, so you can tap it if you want. So he's just cracking lands there. Okay, so he still doesn't have enough to pay for Mana Leak. Alright, so no, that's fine. I'll 3 for 1 though, that's fine. But he does get to draw 2 cards. Okay, and I'm tapped out. Okay, so does my opponent have anything? No. Ghost Quarter, that's fine. Go. I will just let my opponent continue to draw cards, I guess. Think twice. Alright, I think I'm going to let him cast that, just because I'm running short on counters. I'm going to just try and counter the things that actually matter. Okay. So, wait for my opponent to tap down. My opponent just has a ton of card draw. I think actually Think Twice might be a good addition to my hand, to my deck here. Alright, Echoing Truth is pretty good. Alright, well, let's just keep going. Alright, so Flooded Strand. Man, these control games are just so boring. Control versus control. Alright. So I can hold up a Remand and also a Mana Leak. Alright, so now I got control, a Mana Leak, a Remand, and an Echoing Truth or Unsummon. Okay, but I gotta wait for my opponent to tap down before I can cast any of my Faeries, which I have surprisingly few of. Yeah, all I've got is my Scions. Okay, so opponent's tap down Celestial Colonnade. Alright. I'm not too worried about that. Are you gonna swing? Okay. Let's just destroy your colonnade. There we go. Get another land, which is fine. Okay, Mistbind Clique is pretty nice. Alright, so... it might be a good time to try and cast a Scion. Okay, so let's give it a try. So, actually, no, we'll cast it on my opponent's turn. Because they might tap out, and then I can leave up enough mana for a Scion and also Remand. Alright, or Scion and Mana Leak. So let them go here. Okay, so opponent is... Okay, so on my next turn, I'm going to have to discard, unless I get a land. Let's see what we get. Faerie Conclave, that's alright. Alright, so go. I just don't want to have to discard. I think that's going to suck hard if I do. Alright. So, doesn't my opponent have any removal? So yes, he's going to have to just ditch a card. Okay. So, getting rid of a Supreme Verdict? Yes. Okay, so on my turn, I'll just play my island and go. I really just want to cast it on my opponent's end step. So I'm going to have to wait for him to try and cast something here. Okay, but basically we're just playing a game of patience here. I don't know, I might be able to win the long game only because my opponent's got only 9 minutes left and I've got, almost 12 minutes. So, and I'm just luckily drawing land so I don't have to discard. Alright, so see what my opponent's got up his sleeve here. He's going to try and wait for me to tap out, but that's just not going to happen now. If I can resolve a Scion, I'll try and resolve them both and give them both hexproof, and that would be pretty sweet. Okay, so opponent discards a Condemn. Okay. Play another land and go. Okay. So giving my Faerie Shroud would actually be probably the best thing ever. Okay, but again, for sure my opponent's just holding up a whole crap load of counters. And I do not have to discard to hand size again. So go. This is probably the most ridiculous game ever. Alright. So opponent's going to have to either cast something or discard to hand size. Okay, so I'll just play another island. Alright, so I also now have a crap ton of mana. Okay, so he discarded a Cryptic Command. Wow, he must have some really good cards in hand if he's discarding Cryptic Commands. Another Cryptic Command. And I just draw another island. Okay. Alright, go. Okay. Opponent has to discard to hand size again. Wow. Oh, he's casting something. A Snapcaster. What is he going to cast here with that? I'll let him have it. Okay, he's probably going to cast, like, I don't know, Cryptic with Spell Snare? Oh, okay, he's just trying to get a body on the field. Alright. That's fine. And I draw probably my 10th land in a row. Okay. So, go. He's probably going to attack with Snapcaster. Okay, so I will make a Faerie. Okay, and Ghost Quarter, destroy the Faerie. Okay, do I champion it? Okay, well, let's actually just go tap, unsummon. Okay, so I'll just bring it back to my hand. Now, are you going to waste one of your counters on a Faerie? No. Alright. So he lost his Ghost Quarter. Alright, and I take 2 damage, but I still got a Faerie Conclave, which is alright. Okay, back to Faerie Conclave and go. So opponent can no longer use a... Okay, so he can swing with Snapcaster this turn, because I can't make a Faerie, although I could flash in a Faerie. But almost certainly he's got something going on there. Eventually we're gonna have to play this out. Okay, so let's go and well, let's try it, I guess. We'll try and throw down Scion of Oona. Okay, does he have something? Does he have a counter for it? Yeah, he's not going to want me to have Shroud, for sure. A Cryptic Command. Okay. Tap 1, Dispel. Okay, so are you going to let me have Scion? If you do, it could be bad for you. Snapcaster Mage. He really wants to... Well, actually, if I force him to pay 3 with a Snapcaster, then he might not be able to pay the Mana Leak cost, or the Supreme Verdict cost. So let's try it. Mana Leak. Okay, so Spell Snare. Okay. And okay, that's fine. So I'll let him Spell Snare my Mana Leak, but I will Remand Snapcaster. Okay, so even if he counters it, he won't be able to put anything back in his hand. And then he's tapped out, so I'll be able to cast another Scion. And I can still have 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can still hold up Echoing Truth and save them all. So in case of Supreme Verdict. Okay, so that actually is pretty sweet. Okay, so is my opponent going to counter it? Nope. So I get it back in Negate. Okay, so, and I get a Scion. All that for a Scion of Oona. Alright, so let's go tap and tap and tap for another Scion. Alright, we will negate the Path to Exile. He's going to Snapcaster and Spell Snare. Okay. Wow, all that just for one Scion. Okay, yes, I'll get a basic. Okay. Alright, well, still doing okay, I think. Now, I'm completely tapped out, though, so my opponent can still cast a whole buttload of stuff. Okay, so, let's see. Opponent's another Snapcaster. Okay, doing Path to Exile. Okay, there's nothing I can do about that again, so yes. But thinning my deck, I've only got 3 lands left, so almost every draw now is going to be something good. But my opponent can swing for 4. Surprised you didn't tap Celestial Colonnade and get more in. Alright, so Dispel is actually pretty good. Alright, so let's just... We will just go. Draw go. So this turn he's going to swing in with all of his Snapcasters. Okay, and we will go... The problem is I don't really want to give them all back to him. But I don't really have much choice, do I? Well, let's go... Tap. Faerie Conclave, make a Faerie. Then I will tap 1, 2, 3, 4, Mistbind Clique. If he lets us resolve, oh, he did? Wow. Okay, all of his lands get tapped. Okay. So tap all my opponent's lands. Path to exile that. Okay, well I will counter instant spell. Okay, are you going to counter my counter? Just thinking about it. So he does seem to have a counter in hand. He's probably counting. He's probably got a Logic Knot or something like that. Logic Knot X8. Okay. So I will Vapor Snag my Mistbind Clique. Bring it back to my hand. Alright. So, does he have something? What's he got? Another Logic Knot? Sphinx's Revelation. Okay, so he's gaining a bunch of cards back. Okay. And are you kidding me? Drew a Path to Exile? Alright, well, I guess I'll use it. So I'll grab yet another island. So I should be drawing action almost every turn now. No, I don't want to pay 8 for Logic Knot since I don't have it. Okay, yes, okay. Alright, so instead of blocks, I will set my opponent back and Echoing Truth, put them all back in his hand, and get a Vapor Snag. Okay, well, that's fine. I will tap for 2 on my turn, make a Faerie, and swing for 2. And go. Alright. So my opponent's going to... What? Play Snapcaster? No. Remand is actually pretty good for me. Okay, so my opponent's doing something on my turn. Snapcaster? Okay, let's no, he'll just cast it back. But that might give me another card. So, sure. Let's remand his Snapcaster. Okay, so it gives me a Quickling, which is actually pretty nice. Okay. So we will tap for 2 and make a Faerie. Okay, Snapcaster again, okay. Okay, so he's going to be able to put something onto the stack, okay. Now my opponent's only got 2.5 minutes left to finish playing this out. So I think I need to just make this as difficult as possible. So Esper Charm, okay. Esper Charm, okay, so discard 2 cards. Alright, well, I will... Okay, so I will pay 2, play my Quickling, okay, now I'm wondering if I can play the Quickling, allow the Esper Charm to... Oh no, I have to sacrifice unless you return another creature you control to its owner's hand. I can... Oh, actually I can just activate this again. Okay, so I can return the Faerie Conclave back to my hand. Okay, so get a 2/2, so yes, I will return... Okay. So then I will return Faerie Conclave. What? I control this creature. Oh, yes, yes. Okay. And then I will Vapor Snag the Snapcaster Mage. Okay. And I can't play this land at this time. Alright. So then I'll have to discard Faerie Conclave. That's okay, I get a Quickling. And go. So my opponent's got just under 2 minutes to finish playing, to take me out. It's going to be a little bit tough with just some Snapcasters. Okay, and I can kill his Celestial Colonnades. So if he's got like a whole bunch of tokens, then that might do it. Doesn't look like he has it. Remand is good, so we'll swing with Quickling. So we'll swing with Quickling, no F6. Is my opponent going to try and get rid of those 2? No, I think I'll remand that. Draw a card. I'm just trying to make him waste time, actually. So, okay, Snapcaster. So... Okay, so this is kind of the cheapest way to win. Make your opponent go to time. Okay, but I don't think he's going to be able to beat me in a minute. Well, we'll see. He could just suddenly pump out a whole crap load of creatures. So, Spell Snare. Alright. And Condemn goes back in my graveyard. Okay. And go. He's got a minute to do 14 damage. Can he do it? Okay, so he's going to try and draw a bunch of cards, probably. Okay, so on his end step, does he have a whole crapload of tokens? Oh, I think he does. No, just casting it again. Looking for something. Swings for probably 4, yeah. Okay. Okay, opponent's got about 30 seconds left. I'm almost sure to draw some action. And probably the worst thing that I could draw. Well, not the worst. Okay, so I do have flash. Discard 2 cards. Okay, I'll just play it. Okay, he's gonna either let me have it, or else he's gonna have to spend time casting counters. And my opponent's almost certain to run out of time here, so he is choosing Cryptic. Probably draw counter. Okay, so waste his Esper Charm and his last 15 seconds. Snapcaster Mage. Okay. Okay, and I'll give him the G's. Good game. Okay. And that was probably the longest control game I've ever had. But my opponent is out of time, and victory is mine. Probably the worst way to win, but I'll take the win. Anyways, hope you did enjoy watching this long, grindy, hour-long match. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.